What's up, everybody? Finally, Book 9 Crusade is out for pre-order from Forge World as of this Ramble, which means very shortly it'll just be out to purchase, which is very cool. So I want to kind of do a bit of a roundup ramble of the things pertaining to Book Nine's pre-order and all that jazz. Some other stuff that came up for pre-order, some stuff in the Warhammer community posting, stuff like that. It might be a little long-winded because it happens. Anyways, with that said, really pleased to have Book 9 finally coming into the fold. This is the last book that is required for setting up all of the base core lore. I shouldn't say base because it makes it sound cheaper or cheaping or anything, but for the core lore, rules for the Legion, special units, special characters in the Primarch. This is the last book that encompasses all of that stuff for a Legion. It happens to be the Dark Angels, which is extra icing on the cake for me, being a big Dark Angels fan for sure. So that's really cool. But I would be just as excited pretty much for any Legion, because it's a Legion that finally is getting into the fold, which means fans of that Legion can finally really play a flavorful list that isn't limited, right? Because up until this, you had some like chapter tactic like things, like Legion tactic type setup for the Dark Angels, so you could play it something sort of like them, which is a nice little band aid, but really it's not the same thing. So now we're gonna have all the intensive stuff, and that's great. You know, this could have been any other Legion. I'd be happy for that fact. So I like that. Whatever they do from here on with the Horus Heresy book series, which they do plan to continue, obviously. We haven't got to the Siege of Terra yet. Will be cool, and now it's kind of just like icing on the cake because all the legions have their basic stuff represented for us in a good way, not in a bad way. So, really am glad about that. For me, that means I can finish Primarch Purpose once I read up on the Dark Angels and the Lion, of course. I can finish Primarch Purpose series, kind of a what if series there. And then I can also get ready to redo again my pre-heresy and codicy series. I loved doing that series from the first time years ago, and I have redone it several times since. I want to redo it again, and at least on the Forge World side of things, I have what I need to talk about it. And then any models that come is great. But I have what I need in terms of talking about it. The problem is now I have to wait for 9th edition codices. 9th edition came out. Codices are getting a bit of a change. Nothing crazy, but we do know, for example, on the Space Marine side of things, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Space Wolves and Death Watch are not getting their own respective codex anymore. Each one is getting a supplement book instead, which is fine. But stuff like that I need to know for all Space Marine forces that will have codex or supplement books. Knowing it for the Space Marines now is great, and knowing the Grey Knights still get a codex is good. But I don't know what's going to happen for Chaos. And with pre-heresy and codices, I talk about collecting a 30k era force with a 40k era codex, meaning it's not meant to represent something necessarily 10 millennia in the past. So you have to take certain self-imposed restrictions and the like for certain legions. Other ones you can think outside the box and do accounts as for a certain special unit or something because it's fitting or whatever the case may be. My point is, with those self-imposed restrictions, even a Chaos Space Marine Codex can work for certain legions. The thing is, I don't know what's going to happen in terms of the Death Guard and 1,000 Suns books. I don't know if they're going to become codices still or if they'll become supplement books. And if they become supplement books, what happens to World Leaders and Emperor's Children, the other two cult legions and whatever. So I just have to wait a bit longer for redoing pre-heresy and codices, which is fine. Because Chaos Space Marines are popular enough that they'll happen sooner rather than later, I imagine. So, still waiting, but it's a lot better progress, which is cool. So yeah, outside of that, in the realm of normal or standard, just having Book 9 coming out, being a Dark Angels fan, I'm really looking forward to reading through it and giving my thoughts and whatever else and seeing how cool the Dark Angels Legion is being made out to be and more on the Hexagrammaton. Then I'll wish we had that stuff post-heresy and get a little sad, but hey, it happens, right? Anyways, just really glad to see the book coming. with that said, the Lion. The Lion model is out for pre-order as well. That's fantastic. It's the first Primark model that I will own, which is kind of cool. I like all the Primark models, even the very first one, which I believe was Angron, if I'm thinking correctly, is a great model. Character series Primark models are really great. I just feel like with the Lion, we really see them in a good zone, like in the zone, comfort zone, whatever it is, with the Lion, and they've been there, but I think it's just further reinforcing that fact. And it makes me really hopeful for when the con model comes out. Now, I don't plan to purchase the con model necessarily. I mean, part of me would like to own all the Primarks and paint them up, but also part of me is like, that would require painting up really awesome looking models and, to a caliber that I don't think I can achieve at the moment, especially because most of them have faces, and I'm really bad with flesh tones. Anyways, the con, I think, is the last Primark model to come out. Whenever it does, I'm sure it'll be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Just to see it. But I'm really am pleased with the Lion's model. I know some people have been complaining about his posing, saying he's too far away from the Night Lords, about the Butcher. And everybody's going to have their own opinions and thoughts, and that's fine. Personally, for me, it still feels very believable. I mean, he's not just going to do a batting swing. He's probably going to take a step in when he goes in to swing or do whatever he's going to do to kill this Night Lord. On top of that, he's got a really long sword. Doesn't matter which one it is. It's a long sword. So I think he's got plenty of reach to do that. Also, who are we to say he's only going to go for one killing stroke? What if he comes in, cuts the gun off, including the hand or part of the arm off with it, and then does a follow-up stroke just to kind of kill/push the guy to the side as he advances forward? We don't know. But anyways, the spacing doesn't really bother me. I think his posing is great. It's been great since I've seen it. And we also have to remember it's meant to be kind of a display base, but he is the focal point of all of it. So you don't want models on the display, kind of like this Night Lord who's about to die. You don't want them too up in the personal space of the model that's meant to be front and center, even though he's not literally front and center. He's meant to be the model on show. So you want things to be a little bit spaced just so you're not blocking too much of the actual model at hand. You can be looking at this guy from the point of view of the Night Lord and still see most of the Lion in his majesty. So just some food for thought there. Obviously, you like what you like and you don't like what you don't like, and I totally get it. But for me, it still feels very believable in the posing and the spacing, and I get it on a stylistic point being a display base that he's supposed to come off of so you can play as well. You don't want to be too cluttered where it becomes an issue. Anyways, just some food for thought there, but I think he looks fantastic. Really looking forward to owning him and then slowly approaching the concept of painting him in very small, minute stages. I do plan to build him with the Lion's Sword and the Lion's Helm. To me, that's quintessential First Legion Primark. His facial detail is fantastic. I'm just really bad at faces. So if I get any better at it, I might try my hand at painting it up. But until then, Lion Helm it is. I don't know how, also, the heads and the weapons get attached to the body. I'm imagining it's fairly straightforward to potentially magnetize the head. I don't know about the weapons. So the Wolf Blade is cool, but if it's too much of a convoluted process to try and magnetize or whatever, then I'm just going to go with the Lion Sword. If it seems achievable, then I will go for a magnetization, perhaps, to just have both options handy, because, hey, why not? So that should be interesting to take a look at. Alongside these two guys, they also debuted 18 different dice sets, which is very, very, I don't want to say unexpected, but very busy. That's a lot of busy work right there, whoever they team up with to get the dice. It is 18 different sets of dice. Obviously, you don't need to purchase all 18 or any of them. They're a novelty thing, and being thematic dice like it is, they are more expensive. They're $31 US for 20 dice in total, one scatter and 19 normal dice. Kind of random. The 19 threw me off for a second, but it's fine. The thing is, $31, yeah, it's not cheap. Or it's not, but it's not super expensive either. It is pricier than you would expect to pay for dice. Totally, I get it. But I've been in that boat for Vampire the Masquerade dice that were thematic, which is a bunch of D10s. You'll see thematic dice for D&D and other games, and they tend to be pricier because they're fancy thematic dice, unlike being generic. So it's not new to me to see that. It's definitely pricier, but the beauty of it is you have no need for them if you don't want them. So there is that. I think they did a great job, though. The most basic one is the Imperial Fist set. It's just yellow. It doesn't even seem to be yellow swirl or speckled yellow. It's just yellow. But at the same time, personally, it doesn't bother me. They did a great job with the symbol. It's very Imperial Fist. It's very fitting. No nonsense. Here it is. I'm sure some Imperial Fist fans might feel differently, and I totally get it. If you are somebody a little upset about it, I get it. But for me, it just works. I don't know why. It just works. But it's also not my Legion of choice. So if I was a bigger fan, maybe I'd be more upset. I think they did a great job with all of them. The Death Guard dice look great. Sons of Horus, all of them look great. I did pre-order the Dark Angels dice. If you are wondering why there's some red swirl in there, you gotta do more homework. They could have easily done an interesting sparkle, speckle black in there, or almost like a black metallic, just swirled amongst itself, and it'd still be cool. If they did that, I would have wanted red markings on the dice. They could have replaced the red swirl with a green swirl or a bone swirl, and it could have worked as well. But this really ties it to just the Legion time period, more so. And it works, right? Red has always been a kind of accenting staple thing amongst Forge World or GW art for pre-Heresy Dark Angels, even going all the way back to Road Trader era when they had the red striping on their helmet and whatnot. It is a staple of kind of an accent color. Yes, they do checkering patterns in white and sometimes even in green, especially for like the Calibanite Dark Angels. But red, we see it as an accent color on the Legion Moritat with plasma pistols, and that model came out years ago, and they used the Dark Angels color scheme as the example paint job on it, and it's got red. We've seen art on Warren Community page, including one of the ones that recently came out, which is the one that was like a faction focus. It was the Horus Heresy faction focus for the Dark Angels. And there we see the Deathwing Companions with red accenting going on there. And we see, if you look at the picture just above the Lion Models picture, it's art of a Dark Angel, and he's got red checkering. So red is a part of the Dark Angel Legion, so it works for me. The dice, I think it looks fine. I like it. If you don't, hey, you don't. It happens. And the Thousand Suns dice I picked up as well because I think it looks great. Did a great job with the white scars. White dice can be very bland and boring, but they did a nice kind of pearl white swirl in there. It looks really good. My least favorite, honestly, is the Word Bearers dice. It just feels too generic chaosy to me. Again, they are the first heretic. They eventually did go with the whole red armor and everything and different symbol and whatnot. I get it. It just, for me, I don't know. It doesn't invoke 30k Legion like the other ones do. It feels more like dual purpose 30k, 40k dice, which is a bonus if you're a Word Bearers fan for sure. But I don't know, just not thrilling me. And obviously you could use these dice in 30k and 40k games. I'm just saying they are tied to the 30k look, typically. Anyways, just rambling way too long about dice there. What I thought was really interesting is in that Horus Heresy faction focus for the Dark Angels, they give us a glimpse at a rule set called Scion of the Firewing. Our first real look at official rulings for Firewing, giving us a glimpse into what they're all about officially. Basically, if you want to hunt down traitor characters, the Firewing seems to be it. It seems that basically the special rule gives that model and any unit they join the hatred character special rule. So it seems like anti-officer, anti-character, if you will, is the Firewing specialty. Which Firewing was an awesome name to begin with, so having it do something like this is also very fitting. And there were some thoughts on perhaps what the Firewing could be alike. This might also give a glimpse into the Consecrators, whose symbol is very similar to the Firewing. But cool names are cool, right? I thought the Firewing was a cool name anyway, so it seems like they got an interesting set of capability going on here, and I'm interested to read their fluff once we get the book. I'm a big fan of the Dreadwing. I like the Firewing in name. You know, building a Dreadfire style list sounds like fun. So anyways, just some food for thought there in terms of the Firewing. Our first real glimpse into what they're about, which is kind of cool. Outside of that, not too much to say right now. When I do get my shipment in, whenever that happens, because it, I think, gets shipped out the day of. I don't know how Forge World does it, but if it does anything like GW, it's basically random. If I get it day of, if I get it maybe a day early, or if I get it, you know, sometime the week after, it's kind of random, it seems. So whenever I do get it, I will be sure to do a little bit of just a unboxing-ish thing, if you will, of the contents of what I ordered and talking about it and giving my first impressions of seeing it and whatnot, because why not? But I'm looking forward to reading that book. I think Book 9 will probably be equal in terms of being one of my favorite books with Book 7, because Book 7 is where Prayers 8,000 Suns came from, and if you know anything about me from this channel with the Prayers 8,000 Suns and their pseudo-Egyptian look, that is the look I love the most. For sure. I mean, I'm like tied between that and anything Angelic Knightly, like Monastic Angelic Knight, in a way. Both looks are fantastic to me, and the Dark Angels tick off one box and the Prayers 2000 Suns tick off another, so awesomeness all around. I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, with that said, are you a Dark Angels fan? Are you picking up this book even if you're not? Are you getting any dice? I think of the dice set, before I sign off here, I think of the dice that they have shown us, well, the 18 that we see, I think their best is the Iron Warriors. It really looks like it's metallic dice. I love it. I was really tempted to buy it just because it looks so cool. But yeah, I mean, they got a lot of interesting swirls with the other legions and whatnot, but the Iron Warriors dice, just some really, I don't know why, I'm blown away by it. I think it looks great. And I've seen that just generic dice, kind of that coloration before, but it works so well here. It's simple but effective, and it looks great. Anyways, with that said, thanks very much for stopping by and sticking through this long-winded ramble. And until next time, take it easy.